How's it going, guys? It's TheLlamaSir here, and welcome back to another Rocket League video. And in this one, guys, we have something absolutely huge to talk about. So as you can probably already see from the title of this video, I'm finally going to be telling you guys the full story of the Moai that are hidden all over Rocket League. That is right, guys. So I've been wanting to tell this to you for about a month or two, and the reason it's taken so long to just kind of put it up is one, because I just wanted to find a good time to actually make the full video, and secondly, I had to get permission from some people at Psyonix first. However, we got all of that permission and we are finally going to dive into this awesome story. Now, with that being said, this video will be split up into kind of two parts, with the first of which being how I discovered the story, and the second of which, of course, being the story itself. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit that like button down below, and without further ado, let's jump into it here. Alright guys, so starting this off with how I kind of discovered it. So this is kind of like the national treasure mystery solving portion of this video. But about a month or two ago, I don't really remember the exact date, but I think it was around the time that the Starbase Arc Moai head was discovered. And because I was planning on making a video of that, I just kind of got to thinking, why are there so many Moais hidden around the game? Because you guys know there's the one that you get as an antenna, the one on Yo Tokyo, a bunch of ones on decals, and then the more recent ones like Wasteland, Starbase Arc, and Champions Field. It just kind of got me thinking, why? So the first thing I did was ask one of the artists over at Psyonix that I kind of talk to once in a while, and he goes by the name of Eric Majka, and I'm sorry I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I just kind of jokingly asked him, why are the Moai heads everywhere in this game? And then he responded to me saying, I can't say, with that cheeky little winky face. So I took that as a challenge to discover why this is in the game, and I'm happy to say that I was successful in trying to figure it out. So after that Twitter message, I just kind of started looking around for anything that would kind of point me in the right direction. And the beginning of that was just kind of looking up the Moai on Wikipedia, kind of what do these represent? And when you go to the site, the general description of them are that they are monolithic human figures carved by the Rapa Nui people on Easter Island in eastern Polynesia between the years 1250 and 1500. Now, does that have anything to do with flying cars in the near future? Probably not. So this really didn't tell me anything. I had vague ideas of maybe Psyonix as a company had a weird company vacation in Polynesia, but nothing of course came up for that. And then I thought maybe somebody at the studio just kind of was obsessed with them for some reason, but all of that just led to a bunch of dead ends. So after that, I decided to see if Rocket League was the true start of the Moai Easter egg, because I kind of had like a slight idea that it might have been something in a previous Psyonix game that was brought over as an Easter egg into Rocket League, because of course we've seen that in the past with like that weird puffer fish that is on Aquadome and the recent Whizzle Easter egg that we discovered on one of the Takumi decals. So that seemed like a good thing to research. And literally like the first game I searched, which was Psyonix's most recent game, Arc Squadron, I immediately found this certain picture right here which shows the exact design of the Moai head. And as you can see in these pictures, they are designed by a guy named Eric Beckman. Now if that name sounds familiar, that is because you've seen it on one of the Moai head Easter eggs that is in Champions Field. And then the reason for his name being on that is because Eric Beckman is the creator of the Moai head in Rocket League. So this was the breakthrough here. I went to Eric Beckman's site and managed to find an email of his, and when I sent him an email asking him about this Moai head, he was happy to respond to me with the full story behind it. So yes, Eric Beckman is the one that is behind all of these Moai heads in Psyonix games, and especially Rocket League now, but the way it started out is pretty interesting. So first of all, Eric is a huge fan of just secrets in games in general, and he's a lot like us. We love finding secrets in video games, figuring out what exactly they mean, and he was the exact same for a bunch of games he used to play. Now when he started working on games, he used to work at Insomniac, which is a pretty huge game studio that worked on games like Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, a bunch of very popular games in the past. And when he was working there, he said he was told about a level designer or artist that used to hide teddy bears in all of the games he worked on. Now again, since Eric loved the idea of just Easter eggs in games, this is kind of his inspiration for putting Easter eggs in the games he worked on. Now still, why did he decide to go with the Moai head? Well, he goes on to say that one of his favorite classic game studios is Konami. And the funny thing about Konami is that they were obsessed with Moai heads. Like they put them in a ton of their games, and they actually had a game that was designed after a Moai. However, one of Eric's favorite games that was created by Konami was Gradius, and this one had a ton of Moai heads in it. Like, I personally haven't played the game, but just looking up Gradius Moai, you get a ton of pictures here of some weird Moai heads in space, like shooting out lasers and stuff. And I don't really know if this was an Easter egg or just part of the game like enemies, but Eric just said he was always excited to see these in the game. Now, on top of that, he later found out how a lot of classic Japanese studios had Moai heads just randomly hidden in their games. And a bunch of the examples he gives are ones like YY World, which has a walking Moai character in the game, and then one like Parodius, which is probably the most unique take on the Moai, which is honestly pretty creepy. And then finally ones like Magic Sword. All of these games had Moai heads in them, and he just loved how stupid and nonsensical it was, and that is exactly why he decided to start including them in Psyonix games. So ever since he started working at Psyonix, he put them in Arc Squadron, Nosgoth, which was a cancelled game of Psyonix, and eventually including them in Rocket League, such as convincing one of the programmers to have the Moai head drop after putting in the Konami code, which again is a reference to the Konami games that had these Moai heads in them, which is a really cool connection there. But anyways, since then, other artists and developers at Psyonix have gotten in on this little Easter egg and continued to just drop them in randomly in different decals, different designs just everywhere. That is how it has become the Easter egg we all know and love today. So there you have it. That is the full story of the Moai, and it is honestly a very cool one. It sheds a ton of truth on something we've just been speculating for a long time, and honestly, it makes me excited to look for more of these in every single update that is going to be added in this game. But anyways, huge thanks to Eric Beckman for telling me this story, taking the time to write it out so that all of us can know the awesome story behind the Moai and continue to look for these in the future. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and do not forget to subscribe if you're new for more videos like this in the future, as well as check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left talking about a certain boost that might be able to give you an advantage in game, and then on the right, everything you need to know about the new ban system. But other than that, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm TheLlamaSir, and I will see you guys next time.